In this video, we're going to talk about a controversial topic: should I rent or should I own a home, and how to factor in your specific circumstances into the right decision. Question we often get: is it better to rent or better to own a home? It depends on the situation, but surprisingly and controversially, I believe in general it is a better financial decision to rent. It may not be the best lifestyle decision, but it's a better financial situation depending on the marketplace. Here's my analysis on just a sample. Let's say you buy a $700,000 home and a $560,000 loan, meaning you put 20% down. 3.5% fixed interest rate. Let's assume that you pay $14,000 a year in taxes here in Pittsburgh. Depending on the school district, it may be much higher. We're just going to be conservative. $2,000 a year for homeowners insurance, and assuming it's a 30-year fixed, that would make your payment $3,850 per month. Let's fast forward. A lot of people ask me, should I own, should I rent? Well, it depends on the time frame. Generally speaking, we would recommend if you own a home, you should try to be there at least 5 to 7 years. Let's assume 5 years. In 5 years, let's say the market appreciates. In general, we assume real estate's going to appreciate about 1.5%. You could buy in a really hot place. It just goes up like crazy. Or it could go down and you may not get the equity that you have back out of the house when you sell. Let's assume in 5 years that your $700,000 home, you're able to sell it for $750,000. Let's assume normal market conditions. $50,000 goes right to closing cost. $500,000 is left on your loan, assuming you didn't make any overpayments and assuming that low interest rate of 3.5%. That means you pocket $200,000. If we go out 10 years, and let's say your home appreciates all the way up to $800,000, closing costs are $60,000, $430,000 left on your loan, you are going to pocket $310,000. Good numbers. You get some equity back. There's an argument that saying if you rent, it's kind of like you won't end up saving because it's not a forced payment, and there is truth to that. So my analysis for renting does assume that you take the difference and you have the discipline to save it and put it away on a month-to-month basis. So you rent, and let's just say I ran it at $3,000 a month and $2,000 a month. So let's say your rental is $3,000 a month. Again, depending on the market, New York City, you're not going to be able to live. Pittsburgh, that would be a very high-end rental. The $3,000 a month in 5 years, what does that get you? It gets you $0. What does that get you in 10 years? It gets you $0, right? Because you rent, you don't own anything. However, the $140,000 that you put as a down payment, let's invest that. Let's invest that very conservatively. We'll assume 5%. We should be assuming 7%, by the way. We're going to be very conservative. And we take the difference of your mortgage, $3,850, and your rental, $3,000, $850 a month. So we take that $140, we take that $850 a month, we keep that going for 5 years. Your money that you walk away with is $238,000, which is higher than if you sold your house and pocketed $200,000. That's a $38,000 swing. 10 years, $363 versus $310. That's a $53,000 swing. Pretty big deal. The other thing, my opinion, is if you rent, you don't care about the stuff as much. You're not going to redecorate or put new floors in or put a new kitchen in. The furniture, you don't care. It's not your place. Someone else has got to fix it. I think to make this analysis accurate, we should be investing another $5,000 a year of stuff that you would have done to your home if you did own a home. I don't even want to talk about the $2,000 a month. I mean, this just makes it numbers crazy. But if you were to put $140 down and invest $1,850 a month, because the difference is between a mortgage, $3,850, and a rent of $2,000, you'd walk away $306 in 5 years and $519 in 10 years. Now here's what I'm going to say now. Should you rent? If your time frame is less than 5 years, if you're in a new city, new job, you have to evaluate school districts. You have to evaluate commute times. You have to figure out, is the job like you? Do you like the job? Is this a long-term fit? I would assume you should rent for the first 6 months, year, 2 years. Make sure all those factors are in line. Now, when is it the right time to buy? And I would argue this is meant to be an empowering discussion to know the difference. I believe you should own because you want to own. It's going to help your lifestyle. If you made every decision based upon your lifestyle, you're not going to have enough to retire. If you make every decision based upon finances, you're not going to enjoy your life right now. And then you're going to have this huge retirement bucket that it's not going to make a difference in your retirement. Someone spending $100,000 a year in retirement, if they have twice the amount of money, it's going to be hard for that person to spend $200,000 a year. Money is like a temperature, and people kind of get into that temperature. They don't really falter from that. So hopefully that was helpful. Definitely a controversial topic. Use it to empower your decisions. I believe both can be good decisions, but the two are definitely unique based upon your circumstances, your geographic location. But I would say if you own because you want to. It's a lifestyle. You're there for the long term. You're in a good school district. All of those pieces fall together in your life by design. If you need flexibility, or if you have little time on your hands, you don't want to deal, just rent. Don't feel bad about wasting money. Just have a disciplined approach to putting the difference aside. Or if the rent's the same as the mortgage, know that all the money you would have dumped in your house could instead be invested. You're going to end up in a similar position long term.